told your friend you're not okay.
Army, you're not dreaming. Overnight, the world of K-pop changed. Not because of the spotlight, not because of a new song, but because of one person who only needed 2 words to shake up the world. Kim Taeyang. And that's where it all began. There was no grand welcome, no screaming press, no welcoming banners, just the sound of footsteps and the morning air at Incheon Airport. Kim Taeyang, or V of BTS, returned to Korea. No headlines, no announcements. But that's exactly what made it feel like the beginning of something big. He came from Japan, where he had just attended Jin's concert and participated in a promotional event that had the Japanese army going crazy. But beneath the silence of his arrival, a storm was brewing. Dressed in all black, wearing a mask that covered most of his handsome face, and earphones accompanying him in silence, Taeyang walked like a shadow, real but untouchable. But what many didn't realize at the time was, a few hours later, he would set the internet ablaze with one short sentence. Without warning, BTS appeared together in a live broadcast on Weverse. All 7 members. Yes, OT7. The moment that fans had always hoped for had finally come true. After 2 long years, filled with anticipation and tears, the world witnessed the 7 stars sitting side by side again. Not in a concert, not in a commercial, but in complete honesty. A simple room, no choreography, no script.
Just them and Army.
Amidst the jokes, laughter, and funny and touching stories from their military service, Taeyang was silent. But his silence was not without sound. He watched, listened, occasionally laughed, and occasionally interrupted the conversation with a quick question or a light joke. But just when everything seemed to be relaxing and flowing, he said 2 words that made the world stop. Next spring, a burst of laughter could be heard. RM, like a natural leader, tried to change the subject. Some of the members laughed nervously, but it was too late. The internet exploded. Twitter turned into a global investigation center. A short clip of Taeyang saying those 2 words was shared millions of times. Not because it was a big line, but because of who said it and how he said it. It's no secret that BTS and their agency are very careful about spoilers. But Taeyang? He said it like it was the most ordinary line. And maybe that's what made it feel like confirmation. Army cried. Not just because of the heartwarming reunion, but because they were no longer waiting in the dark. Taeyang had brought light. Hope was no longer a dream, but a date that felt ever closer.
Spring
2026, BTS's full comeback. And from that moment on, what started out as a simple dinner party became the center of the K-pop universe. Armies from all over the world replayed the broadcast, not just to see the faces they missed, but to analyze Taeyang's every blink, every smile, every reaction. The camera wasn't on him, but fans couldn't take their eyes off him. Taeyang was different. He wasn't loud. He wasn't trying to be the center of attention. But that's exactly why he always stole the show. Sitting in the corner of the room, he looked like someone who had just returned from a long trip, but not as a guest. He had returned as part of the house. Even when he asked Jimin how he was doing, or when he smiled faintly at Jin's jokes, everything felt warm. It was as if time had never separated them. He didn't say much, but every sentence felt like a gift. And when he talked about America, Army immediately thought, is this about a solo album? A tour? A collaboration? Nothing was certain, but that's Taeyang. He didn't give an answer. He gave a sign. Within hours of the broadcast, social media had turned into a massive V-party. The hashtag Taeyang is back was trending #1 in dozens of countries. His every facial expression became a meme. His every sentence was immortalized. Even his breathing patterns were scrutinized by fans hungry for every detail. No exaggeration. That was the Taeyang effect. What surprised everyone? He didn't try. He didn't try to make a big statement. There was no dramatic choreography. There was no spotlight. He just sits there, laughs, and lets the world know. But it's enough to get the world talking. This live stream isn't just about nostalgia. It's about a reminder. BTS isn't done yet. They're just getting ready. And Taeyang, in his gentle yet electrifying style, is the bridge between the past we long for and the future we're building. He's not just giving us spoilers, he's giving us direction. See you in the next video.